welcome back to the series of Getting Started. Now we'll start with the video on energy practice. So, energy practice in Tantric Yoga of the Shakti-Shaiva Dharma tradition is often called speech. It's called speech for a good reason. The way we speak, we can usually tell our energy state or our emotional state. We can tell if someone's restricted, we can tell if someone's having some kind of reactive emotion or discursive thinking, or they're confused and so forth. So speech and our energy state go together. And that's why in tantric literature and practices, energy practice was often called speech. Also, we use conscious speech, the way we speak, choosing our words and chanting and praying to recondition our energy body as well, to recondition our emotions and so forth. So it works both ways. If speech represents how we are feeling and emoting and what is our energy state, we can also use speech to recondition that state if we consciously engage with it. So in tantric practice, we use both. Now, energy practice utilizes our prana, our vitality, this vital energy of being alive, our aliveness, we could say. So we're going to work a lot with that in the very beginning. Most of the times, the way we grow up in our cultures, we are summarily disconnected and dissociated from our energy experience. You know, in school, having too much energy is a problem, right? Teacher going to tell you to hold still. Having too much emotion is a problem. All these energetic kind of expressions that we have can be too much in an orderly society, right? Especially when that society doesn't understand how important our energy is. And modern Western society pretty much doesn't know that. So we want to pay a little extra attention towards the energy practices and really bringing this out to overcome any type of repressive type of conditioning that our energy had when we were small or younger. Even the day before this, who knows? So we work a lot with our vitality, our prana, our energy of aliveness, our emotions, and our sensations. Most times when we experience our emotions, we're experiencing them like a cramp. It's like the body and energy is all tensed up. Instead of it being a free-flowing expression of something, instead of it being, say, a virtue, like a positive virtue, we often get into negative emotions, limiting emotions. Instead of generosity flowing through us naturally in a moment to give and share with anybody in any situation, it could be more of greed and holding back and fear and suspicion and doubt and this type of thing. So we want to work with our energy to be able to open it up so we're finally expressing divine virtues spontaneously as our natural personality display, rather than the negative conditioning of our energy that we've grown up with, limiting, the cramp. So by developing, the first step we will do is to develop a real connection to our own sensations through a certain meditation practice. But we'll also be praying as part of the getting started practice. Now, some people have a problem with prayer, and I think this could come from our religious conditioning and so on. Let me make something really clear. When we pray in Tantric Yoga, we're not praying to a God outside of ourselves. We're not praying to a God that we have to fear and that might kill us and send us to a hell or something like that. We're using prayer as a way of reconditioning our energy. We're sort of like producing positive affirmations, which was so popular a few years back. But we're reprogramming our energy, reprogramming our mind to actually be open, to not have that crampy experience, to look for the positive and to experience and express virtues. This is really what prayer means in the Shakti-Shaiva Tantric Yoga tradition. It's not so much supplicating a deity or trying to confess your sins to a deity or anything like this. It's all about working directly with your energy and reconditioning it to be open, to be unlimited as much as possible, expressing virtues as much as possible, and to try to feel our actual situation, to show up, to what's called arrive in your situation, in your body, in your sensations, in your emotion. Because a life without sensation, without emotion freely flowing, without sexual experience and so on, is not really alive. We have to have it all to be whole. And yogins of all people on the planet, these ladies and gentlemen, should be the most whole, shouldn't they? So we should have all these capacities brought out, and that's why we're working with our energy practice. So our vitality, our energy of aliveness, our emotion, our sensation will be the keys that we'll be trying to work with during this session, and that you'll do at home on your own. Further practices down the line of the energy practice section in this system get more complex and more beautiful and so forth. But we're giving you a nice, easy way in with 2 short prayers that are used in the pro forma of this whole practice, which we'll be doing at the end. And also these 2 short prayers, and also a short meditation on sensation. So we'll start like that. So first, I think we'll do the meditation on sensation. I'll give you the instructions for that. So the first thing is that it's a sensation meditation, and if you've ever practiced something like Vipassana or Buddhist mindfulness, it'll have a similar flavor to it, but there'll be the more enriching experience of the sensations. We'll be focusing and emphasizing much more on enriching the sensations as the primary attention of the exercise. So our goal in this exercise is to really feel the sensations of being, feel the sensations of aliveness, and to develop an undistracted connection to those feelings, to that feeling sense. It doesn't mean that all day long we want to be emoting, reactive karmic type of emoting to every situation. It does mean, though, that all day long we want to be in touch with the fact that we are a sensate being, that we are a being of energy and feeling. And that should be there. If that disappears into the background so far that we're disconnected from it, at that point we would say that we haven't arrived, we haven't shown up yet as a whole human being with 3 centers. So that's really the goal of this meditation, integrating this experience of connecting to the sensations smoothly all day long, so we feel this undistracted, unbroken experience of aliveness without huge, peaks and valleys, reactions, and so on. Okay, so I recommend that you do this sensation meditation for somewhere between 2 minutes and 10 minutes. 2 minutes and 10 minutes would be enough for this one. And again, as I stated in the body practice, start with the lower side of that. So maybe start with 2 minutes a day. So maybe you're adding these practices on, right? So maybe you're doing 5 minutes of P1, 2, and 3, 2 minutes of energy practice. Now you're up to 7 minutes. Very doable for anybody, even with 3 jobs. Yeah? So first thing is we want to get our posture erect. We can be sitting in a chair if we want. That's fine. If we have some limitation with our knees, our hips, our low back. But we prefer not to have our back resting against the back of the chair if possible. So if you can sit and maintain your own posture, that's better. It actually is quite surprising how sitting straight, even for short periods of time, is a type of exercise. So it may take a week or 2 until it feels comfortable to sit up straight, but you can sit straight. So if you can sit with crossed legs, any type of cross-leg position, the normal cross-legged position called Sukhasana or Ardha Padmasana, half lotus or full lotus, any of these things are fine. Doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be extreme. The important thing we're looking for here is comfort and ease while being consciously aware of the body position and having the spine fairly erect. If I have to pull up so hard to do like this, that take out my curves of my spine, that I'm not comfortable. I have so much awareness on these areas, I'm creating new tension. It'll be fighting against my practice. So let's just have our legs in a comfortable position. Cross-legged is better than on a chair if possible, but by no means do you lose too much by having yourself in a chair with your feet on the floor. That's fine if you do that. And if you do that, I recommend a little bit of weight on your feet as well as on your buttocks, so it stays more alive, more of a base. Then, if you can form some triangular base with your legs through any of the postures that we mentioned, that's fine. Just sitting cross-legged like a little kid is fine as well. If it hurts your knees or something, you never hurt your body. That's the rule. Spine is straight, legs are like this, stomach is relaxed, head is held aloft, chest is open, the back is open, your arms, your hands can be resting on your legs for this one. And if you're distracted by sight, you can close your eyes at this point. If you're not distracted by sight, you can just let your eyes be open, even though you won't be looking out very much. You'll be looking inward with your inward gaze, trying to sense sensations. But for the first part of the exercise, if your eyes are closed, it may be helpful to open your eyes. So let's start this practice together, the sensation meditation. So we just take a moment to relax, follow your breath in and out. Softly and gently filling in the double kumbha manner. From below you fill in, then up into the chest. And as you continue doing that, just start to open your awareness to sensations. Start to open your awareness to sensations you may have, tingling or warmth, any type of sensation, like a numbness, a tingling, a warmth, a tickle, a itch. You can feel like a heaviness or a lightness in the body in some area, a roughness or a smoothness, anything, agitation. It doesn't matter at this point, just become aware of them, don't judge them. Becoming aware of the sensations, just arising all over your body. And now we'll focus in and look at your hand. If you're right-handed, look at your right hand. If you're left-handed, look at your left hand. Still maintaining the posture. Look at the palm of your hand. Continue to breathe softly and start to ask yourself, I wonder if I can feel sensations in my hand. Try to feel them. And fairly soon you'll feel a rising of pinpricks or tingling, or a type of fullness and throbbing can come into the hand, a warmth. You may even notice that you get a speckled kind of appearance in the palm of your hand. As you place your awareness there and your energy flows there and your blood flows there, so everything starts becoming more sensate. Okay, now if you've established that feeling, then you can relax your eyes if you're used to having them closed. If you have them open, you can keep them open, but you can bring your head back to straight position. Continue to breathe in and out softly. Tip of your tongue just softly resting on the roof of your mouth, spine straight, legs comfortable, breathing smoothly. Keep the awareness at the hand, increase the sensations now, as if every breath brings a flood of more sensation, more throbbing, more tingling, more heaviness, more lightness, more warmth, whatever it is, more speckles. And then slowly begin to bring the sensation from the hand now to the wrist with your mind conducted to the wrist. But don't observe it, really feel it in the wrist. Have it flow into the forearm. Bring those sensations into the forearm, just like a soft ooze of molasses of sensation is moving from your hand and your fingers down into your forearm, heading towards your elbow. Now the whole forearm and the hand are alive with sensation, and the elbow now too. And now it starts to fill up the arm, right through the bones, the muscles, the skin, the blood, everything. Feel all those sensations right up into the shoulder and the armpit, right across the neck. So the hand, the forearm, the elbow, the upper arm, the shoulder, the trapezius area, the shoulder, neck, up the back of the neck, side of the neck, front of the neck, through the whole neck as a tube. Feel all sensations coming on, right up into the head. Feel the head tingling, scalp, as if the hair is dancing. Keep those sensations coming. Keep continuity from the hand through the wrist, the forearm, the elbow, the upper arm, shoulder, neck, head. And go down the other side now, down the trapezius neck area. Bring those sensations. Now it's like a wave. It's a little easier to move them and feel them flooding. Your hand may already start tingling, so it's down that other shoulder, arm, elbow, forearm, wrist, hand. Now you may have two tingling sensation hands. Take a moment to bring that on from hand to hand, right up through the head. Don't let it go through your back and down towards your waist, your kidneys, your waistline. Let it go through your chest and down the front line, your sides, whole torso. You find if you don't resist it and just allow it, it kind of flows like a waterfall. It just flows right down through your whole body, down through your pelvis, through the buttocks and the hips, sacrum, down through the thighs, down to the knees, right down through the calves and shins, ankles, feet, soles of the feet, heel of the feet, toes, instep, inside the foot. Now your whole body sensation is enlivened. Don't be discouraged or frustrated if you don't feel like 4th of July energy fireworks, like electric shocks running through you. That's not the goal. It's a soft, subtle energy of aliveness that we want to feel. And it does have some tingling sensation with it, some warmth, some movement, but very mild, very gentle. Shouldn't be causing you to jump around or spasm or anything. Very simple. So don't get discouraged. You're probably doing it perfectly well. In fact, you're alive, so we know that these sensations are here. You just have to become aware of them. Becoming aware of them is the goal here. So we're just becoming aware of them, making them richer, and trying to have an undistracted, unbroken experience of them. Now you'll notice, as you do this practice for 2 to 10 minutes, some areas of your body will become dull again, or a little dense in feeling, lacking sensation, and so forth. At that point, you just re-invoke in that area by relaxing. You just breathe into it and relax the area and let your mind and energy flow into it again, and sensations arise once again. This is purely the goal of it. There's nothing more to do. Then in integration practice, we'll discuss how we bring that out into the world in the rest of our activities. Okay? So you practice that for 2 to 10 minutes, and that'll immediately bring you much more into your situation, into your body, and so on. Now, that's one way to practice that exercise. I'm going to give you another version of the same exercise, okay? In this one, again, it's the same body posture. I'm going to place my awareness at my nostrils. So my eyes can be closed if I'm distracted easily by visual stimuli, and if not, it can be open, just relaxed, going down along the angle of my nose, and I'm really not looking out very much. I'm trying to sense at my nostrils the qualities and sensations there. So you can choose eyes open or closed, but your tip of your tongue will touch the roof of your mouth. With your awareness falling at the nostrils, very naturally, very gently, begin to just breathe in and out and let your awareness be at the nostrils. You can feel the air moving in through that oval hole at the nostrils and moving out on both sides, right? One side may be a little more diminished than the other. That's natural as your channels switch from side to side every so often. Just let your air move smoothly and breathe in and out through both nostrils. Bring the awareness to the nostrils. Now, as you're aware of the breathing at the nostrils, of the breath moving through the nostrils, both in and out, just tune in very subtly to what we call the qualities, or gunas. Gunas is a Sanskrit word for qualities. What are the qualities of the breath at the nostrils? So first we want to feel whether the breath coming in is warm or cool compared to the breath going out. Let's try that first. Softly sense the breath coming in. Sense its coolness or warmness, its temperature, and then exhale softly again and sense it going out and compare. So you can begin to sense that the in-breath is cool and the out-breath is warm in comparison. Let that sensation become very rich before you move to the next one. Have an expansion of both sensations at the nostril as you practice. And now ask yourself the question, is the in-breath compared to the out-breath heavy or light? And vice versa. So just continue breathing in at the nostrils and being aware. And if you're in a fairly normal situation, you're not on a glacier somewhere or in a sauna or something like that, or in a super humid tropical jungle, you usually notice that on the breath in is lighter, and the breath out is a bit heavier as it picks up some warm, moist air and goes out. See if you can expand the experience of heavy and light in the in and out breath. In light, out heavy. And once that feels good, again, you don't have to try to perfect it. There is no perfecting it, just sense it and move on. Let's try to feel. First we did warm or cool, and then we did heavy or light. Now let's do moist or wet versus dry. So breathe in and exhale out slowly. And which one is more moist? Which is moisture? Really sense it. Trying to feel the quality of wetness and dryness. Just at the nostrils for now. And usually we're sensing that the in-breath is drier than the out-breath. The out-breath is wetter than the in-breath. Continue this way. Now it's enough to keep it just as at the nostrils, and just be aware of those three pairs of qualities just at the nostrils and expand that experience. It's enough to do that with the heavy light, wet and dry, and warm and cool. But you can also do as we did in the first exercise when we expanded from the hand through the whole body. We can then take this and let the breath carry now the sensations past the nostrils, in through the whole body, and wake up the sensations this way. So you can let it flood up through the head, face. So you're breathing in, right? Feeling the sensations flood up through the face and through the head, going right up and then passing right down in through the chest and the shoulders and the arms as you breathe in. Even as you breathe out, the sensations are still being generated and passed in through the whole body. In other words, you're going to pick a sensation, say it's lightness, and as you breathe in feeling light, pass that lightness in through the whole body, so the whole body feels light. When you breathe out and you feel heavy, you can shift it and focus to heavy. So you can play with it like this, but try to get your whole body filled with sensation as we did in the first exercise. Again, it's okay to keep it just at the nostrils as well. So again, practice that one for 2 to 10 minutes. Let the sensations be very rich. You'll find that your mind becomes naturally absorbed in the energy practice. That's why Tantric yoga practices of meditation in the Shaktashaiva Dharma tradition often use some type of movement or some type of breath or sensation, because it helps our mind just become absorbed into that activity very naturally, without any strenuous force. Distractions may come, but easily your mind rectifies back to the exercise and you feel the energy once again. In other words, the energy is very attractive and it absorbs the mind. Okay? So this is the basic energy practice of the sensation meditation, 2 versions. One starting with the hand and spreading sensation, the other starting at the nostrils, called Tantric Vipassana, and spreading the sensations through the body. And now I'll repeat with you the prayers that we're going to use. This is the prayer of awakening and what's called the Universal Peace Prayer or Shantipat prayer. And if you want to receive the full instructions of the Shaktashaiva Foundation practice that these 2 prayers come out of, it's a 12-part practice. It's also a fantastic practice for getting started. It is the foundation of what we do. After these beginner steps, if you feel like getting into that, or right away, you can click on that area of the website and teach you all about that. There's a full video teaching of it and audio cueing sessions as well, taken from 2 different locations when the teachings were given in 2 different places. And right now I'm going to read with you the prayer of awakening and then the Universal Peace Prayer of the Shantipat. The key when you read the prayers is to feel them. You really want to feel what you're reading. So it's not important that we pray these in Sanskrit. You know, there are many prayers in our tradition, in the Dharma Inc. tradition that we present here, gives teachings from the Shaktashaiva tradition, which uses Sanskrit, also from the Tibetan Yongdrung Bon tradition, which is using Tibetan. It's not necessary for any of the prayers or the liturgies of rituals and so on to be using a foreign language. We need to understand what the language is so we can feel what it is that we're praying. So our prayers here will be in English. If you want to learn them in their native languages, that's fine too, and that's wonderful as well. But it's not necessary. The first prayer is the prayer of awakening, awakening to grace, section 1 of the Shaktashaiva foundation practice, and it's a way to recondition our mind and our energy towards opening to inspiration, opening to being a being of virtues and so forth, and to really wanting and praying for that awakening experience, which we feel happens through our own desire and through some serendipity like grace. So this is the prayer of awakening. Try to really feel what you're praying, and it's important that you pray it out loud. Maybe you don't want to disturb people who are sleeping in your house. If you're doing it in the morning, you can do it softly, but doing prayers out loud is much more effective for reconditioning your energy in the beginning. Okay? Section 1, Awakening to Grace, the Prayer of Awakening. From the depth of my essence heart, I yearn to awaken. O great Guru, force of awakening, icon of essence itself, conduit for the supreme Shakti of awakening and the activity of the Parampara, arise in the form of Shambhunatha in the space of my heart and ascend the middle path. I pray you remain above my crown. May we never be separated. Compassionate and kind vehicle of the unbroken transmission of the ancients, bless me to realize the preciousness of this human birth, the good sense not to waste it, and the power to choose the path of awareness and compassion in every moment. Awaken me from the sleep of ignorance. May the spiritual preceptor, in the form of Shambhunatha, generously pour the blessing power of immediate realization into my crown, filling me to overflowing. By your blessing power, may I realize the immutable ground of being beyond opposites and transient phenomena. Bless me with awakening. Tatastu Shivoham. So, in this prayer, when we talk about, there are some Sanskrit words here, when we talk about Shambhunatha, we're talking about an image of enlightenment resting right above our crown, which has its origin in our heart center, through the middle path, which is mentioned in the prayer, which is the central channel, and pouring the blessing power of awakening down into us. We set this up in our mind and our consciousness and our energy, so we can try to feel that inspiration in a daily way every time we do these practices of these prayers, is to remind us that this inspiration of awakening is available at all times. And here we also are asking for the blessing power of the Guru. And the Guru in this tradition obviously is very important. Here, it doesn't matter if you have a physical Guru in your life at this point or not. The idea is that the Guru represents for us the awakening to our own true essence, to our own enlightenment. That's the Guru's job, basically, to awaken us to our own enlightenment. In this case, the symbol of Shambhunatha above our crown is the iconic and symbolic symbol of essence itself, enlightenment itself, or the Guru's essence, we say. So when we mention the word Guru here, if you don't have a physical Guru yet in your life, it doesn't matter. You just pray knowing that the great masters of this tradition actually are present in a very real way and can inspire us, and we can be inspired to be more like them, expressing a life of virtues and of awakened consciousness. So that's the meaning of that. But of course, there's hours of instruction and explanation of each prayer on the video links that we described that you can see below. Please do listen at least one time to the instructions and explanation of each one of these prayers so you understand them from the proper place when you pray. The next prayer in the reconditioning of the energy practice section of this getting started package is the universal peace and welfare blessing for all beings, in Sanskrit called Shantipata. So in English, we would pray the prayer like this. We would say one Om, so you can chant one Om. Om, because there is no translation for Om. Om is the sense of the oneness of everything. We want to feel the oneness for a moment before we start. It's a way to recalibrate us from our discursive mind into the oneness of our heart, the oneness shared by all beings of love and compassion, wisdom. After that Om, we say, from that which is unreal, lead me to that which is real. From the darkness, lead me to light. From death, lead me to immortality. May all beings experience welfare. May all beings experience peace. May all beings experience fullness that knows no opposite. May all beings experience auspiciousness. May all beings in all the realms experience a sense of essential goodness. Om, once again. To that three-eyed one, to Shiva, we ask and we give salutations. Just as a cucumber is snapped from a vine, may we too know our free, independent, and immortal self. Om, peace, peace, peace. This is the universal peace and welfare blessing for all beings. This prayer has been chanted at the end of all practice sessions in most Dharma traditions from India for thousands of years. It's important that at the very end of the practice we don't become too self-interested, too much self-indulgent, and we remember that our practice is about making us a better human being, more connected to all beings, and really wishing and blessing all these wonderful virtues of peace and fulfillment and happiness and so forth on all beings is a very important part of ending our practice. So I hope you enjoyed that energy section and practice that with a nice loving heart, and we'll move on to the next mind section.